Hello everyone, welcome to the latest episode of Score Settled, and we are back with another set of 5 questions in this video. So let's start. Which of the following statements are correct about the IS curve? First is that it shows the combination of interest rate and level of income such that the money market is in equilibrium. No, this statement is wrong because IS curve determines the product market equilibrium. Okay. Second, it is negatively sloped. So this is true. Right. Now, one thing is that we can start striking out the option. So A is incorrect. Right. So option 1 cannot be the true answer, or option 2. Right. But B is correct. So B has to be there. And out of the left 2 options, that is 3 and 4, it is only in option 4 that B is there. So correct answer is 4. But let's just go through other statements also, that the smaller the multiplier and the more sensitive investment demand is to changes in the interest rate, the steeper the curve. This is false. Why? What is the error here? This word, more. Less sensitive the investment spending to the changes in interest rate, the steeper would be your IS curve. More the multiplier, more sensitive investment spending, flatter the IS curve. So C is false. An increase in government purchases shifts the IS curve to the right. This is true. So B and D, this brings us 4 as the correct answer for us. Next question. Which of the following statements are correct about the money multiplier? Now, what is the money multiplier? You can just note it down. This money multiplier basically measures the amount of broad money, that is M3, created from initial reserves. Right? This is your money multiplier. This is what your money multiplier basically measures. Okay, and this money multiplier is the inverse of your reserve ratio. Right? Higher the reserves, lower is the money multiplier. That's it. Okay, so let's go through the statements. It is the ratio of stock of money to the stock of high powered money. This statement is right. It is smaller than 1. No, this statement is actually false. Money multiplier, basically it measures the bank's capacity to create money out of the high powered money. So banks just simply keep a small reserve out of it and start creating credit money out of it. So B is false. Its value depends on the reserve ratio and the currency deposit ratio. That's true. So we'll just briefly mention M by H, which is your money multiplier, is equal to C plus D upon your C plus R, currency plus demand deposits and the reserves. Dividing both numerator and denominator by D, we get C by D plus 1 upon C by D plus R by D. These are the reserve ratios. The cash reserve ratio, the total reserves that are kept out of the total deposits that are there. Okay, so this statement C is true. It is inversely related to the reserve ratio. This statement is also true, right? More the reserves that are kept by the bank, lesser will be the bank's capacity to create credit money. Okay, so A, C and D, these are right. So this makes our third option to be the right answer. Next question. Life cycle theory of consumption postulates that consumption is constant throughout lifetime. This is true, right? Second, marginal propensity to consume out of permanent income is small. No, this statement is false. Rather, it is high. Marginal propensity to consume is high because individuals basically treat permanent income only as their sole income out of which they have to fund their consumption expenditures. So this is high. Marginal propensity to consume out of transitory income is large. Again, this statement is false because it is less. Because there is a perception that any shortfall gains, they have to be saved. Okay. It emphasizes how to maintain a stable standard of living over the course of life. This is true. So basically it is A and D, which makes second as the right answer. Next, the kinked demand curve model can explain. Basically, this kinked demand curve explains the rigidity in your price and output, right? Now, this model explains the level at which price will be set by firms to maximize profits. No, basically the kinked demand curve only actually reveals the rigidity. It does not measure the profit maximization, or rather it is difficult to determine an exact point of price and demand on which a firm maximizes its profits, right? So A is false. So we can strike out 1 and 3 options like this. Okay. Second, the level of price at which the kink will occur as well as the height of the kink, again false. We are not measuring anything out of it. Okay, so this model only explains the price rigidity in your oligopolistic market. How that price rigidity has occurred, how much of it has occurred is not explained by the model. So B is also false, which leaves us with second option only. Let's go through the other statements. See, the price rigidity in the face of changing costs and of high rivalry. Yes, this is true. The implications for the volume of output owing to changing market conditions. This is also true. Basically, if there is a shift in demand, right? If there is a change in demand, the kinked demand curve will shift, which will cause the volume of equilibrium demand to also change, even when there is rigidity in your prices. Okay. So C and D are the correct statements, which makes 2 as the right answer for us. Last question, which of the following are applicable to the individual's expenditure function? How much expenditure is being occurred? A, it is homogeneous of degree 0 in all prices. Absolutely wrong. Rather, it is homogeneous of degree 1, right? So, with the very first statement only, we can strike out the 3 options that are there, which makes 4 as the right answer. But let's go through other statements also. It represents the maximum expenditure to achieve a given level of utility. No, it represents the minimum expenditure. Okay, not the maximum, minimum expenditure. It is a cost, right? So we have to minimize it. Okay, then it is non-decreasing in prices. This statement is true because if your prices will change, the expenditure will automatically change, right? It will increase. Okay, and it is concave in prices. Yes, this is also true because with the change in prices, right, expenditure changes, but it changes less than proportionately or less than the change in price, which makes the expenditure function concave in shape. C and D are right, which makes 4 as the correct answer for us. So these were the 5 questions for today, and we'll see you in the next video with another set of 5 questions. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. All the best. Thank you.